What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast, episode number 218, presented by Save the Game Media. I'm your host, Kevin, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about all the games I've been playing. We got more PS5 ports. Xbox has announced a showcase and a Game Pass update for you. But before we get to that and more, I got to introduce my co-host. So told me he was drinking some juice before this. What kind of juice we rocking, JamPackSam?
I am drinking Diet Cran. I think it's Cran Grape tonight. I'm drinking Diet Cran Grape, so it's like 10 calories, and it's not coffee for once. So switching it up.
Cran Grape. I don't know if I've ever heard of Cran Grape.
Oh yeah. I think it's just obviously, as the name insinuates, a blend of cranberry and grape juice. But they had cran apple, they had cran cherry, they had cranberry, obviously, and they had cran grape, and I like grape juice. So I was like, you know what? Because I've been on this kick, not to start off the show on a ramble, but I've been I don't even know if I told you this. I've been trying to cut out a lot more soda out of the routine. Says the guy that has the Mountain Dew fridge to my right. But I've been trying to cut out more soda from my routine, so it's been a lot more like energy packets from Walmart, like random little like water mixes and stuff. That's not obviously water's ideal, but a little bit better on the kidneys. So we've relapsed a couple of times, but nonetheless we're making some headway. So yeah, juice is the move tonight.
My favorite, I mean, listen, I like most juice, but I do like cranberry juice. Cran apple is really like apple juice. Something about it just hits. But when it's breakfast time, it's got to be OJ. That's all I'm saying. Like, I love orange juice in the morning.
I'm not an orange juice guy. Let me ask you this. Are you a pulp guy or a no pulp guy?
Oh, no pulp. If you get pulp, an abomination. What is wrong with you? Who wants little floaty things on their liquid? Ugh.
Yeah, I don't need dead skin in my orange juice. Thank you. You can keep that. I'm fine.
Yo, the funny thing, we were at some friend's house, tangent wise. We'll get to the show, everybody. All right, this is what you come for, though. We're at a friend's house for a game night, and we're talking about like food, and he was like, all right, the secret to making grapefruit taste good? Because I was like, grapefruit sucks. All right, I don't like grapefruit. He's like, no, you got to peel off the like white part. You don't do that with an orange, but you do it with grapefruit. I was like, brother, what do you mean you don't do it with an orange? So he goes and gets an orange, just takes the orange part off, and then has all the like, I don't know what you call it. I don't know what you call that stuff. You know what I'm talking about, though.
The sinewy spider web stuff.
Yes. Like and he just starts eating it. And I was like, oh my God, that is disgusting.
Does he eat it like an apple? Like, does he bite into it?
No, he rips it apart, but he doesn't sit there. Like, I'll sit there and like take my fingernail. Like, I got to peel this as much as possible.
I will say, like, if I'm eating like a cutie or whatever, you like the little small oranges.
Yes.
I'm popping that whole thing in my mouth and I'm just eating that like a giant gusher. Like, I'm not even worrying about the in-between. So I'm just taking it all in. If it's fair. Like a regular orange, I feel like it's a little bit like that stuff in the middle is a little bit tougher. I used to work with a dude that would eat the core of an apple.
Nope.
Like that's you go to prison immediately if you eat the core of an apple. What's wrong with you?
Sam, can I tell you something that we learned at Extra Life? We have one of those psychopaths here at Save the Game Media. His name is Taylor, aka TPR, over on No Limits. He ate the apple core in front of all of us.
That straight to jail, immediately straight to jail. And I keep hearing like that's where the nutrients are. It's really good for you in there. I don't care. You're eating wood. What are you doing, man? That's disgusting. What's wrong with you?
That is what the appendix used to be for. All right, like that is what it used to eat. Rick Davis says, do you eat those cuties or whatever they're called, Sam? LOL, the oranges for kids.
Okay, so like every few years I'll get on a kick where it's like I really just want an orange. And I mean, like I think since my fiance and I've been together, I haven't had an orange kick, but all of a sudden it'll be like a fresh fruit season and I'll grab a bag of, because they'll be on sale at Aldi or whatever for like $2.50 and I'll just grab a bundle of them. I'm not often an orange guy because I don't want to be the dude in the office that smells like oranges. Like I hate being like peanut butter even makes me a little bit antsy because I'm like, number one, is anybody around here allergic and am I going to kill somebody? Number two, I smell like peanut butter now. So like the orange is like that amplified. So
I eat peanut butter every day.
Same, I do too.
Whenever I'm in the office, I've never once thought about if I pop my sandwich, because I'll just sit there at my desk, like keep working, because then for my lunch break, I would just go walk. But like, I'll sit there, have my sandwich, I'll be eating it. And I was like, if anybody's allergic right now, like, sorry, but I
Yeah,
gotta eat.
I'm always very aware of it, and then I'm very aware of like my in-office activities, and I promise we talk about video games on this show as well. But I'm very self-conscious of like if I'm eating a protein bar, the ones that I get from Costco that are Costco brand. I mean, it's like it sounds like you're like ripping tinfoil off when you're
Hmm.
wrapper, where it's just like the most loud, obnoxious thing. Nobody, it's like dead quiet in the office. So I'm just the dude over here ripping. Sounds like I'm ripping duct tape in the middle of a work day, and then I'm just over there smelling like peanut butter now. So, you do what you got to do to survive and have sustenance, I guess.
I agree. Listen, it's not as long as you're not heating up fish at work. That's
Uh,
that no go, no go. I got to
Absolutely
smell
not.
it the whole time. I was like, this is disgusting.
Yeah, I try to make as I leave it better than I found it. Like I want it to smell better when I leave. I want it to be less annoying when I'm there. Like that's the approach that I try to take. Also, can we talk about how Rick Davis is wanting me to eat an entire orange whole, including the peel? Oh my god! I think I will do that if you make it an extra life tier at some point in the future.
Mm.
You can throw that on there of like Sam records a 4K video of him eating eating an orange like an apple.
An apple.
Like I'll eat it like an apple. I swear I will.
Oh, we'll have to talk about the pricing for that. Yeah, that could be good. Yeah. No,
I'll
listen,
do it, man.
I'll do it too. I won't let you do it alone. Okay, we can
Mhm.
slice it together and both suffer for the right
Phenomenal.
price. For the right
Love that.
price. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about some games and what this show actually is. This is Project XTalk. We're live every Thursday on youtube.com/save the game media. If you can't catch us live, post every Friday on your favorite audio platform of choice. While you're over there, if you could, please drop us that 5-star review. It does help us. And speaking of tiers, we have a Patreon. If you want to support us even further, get early audio access to all of our content and exclusive bonus content. Usually the food talk will probably be the post show that we do. That was very post show
Yeah,
energy. All right. So if you
definitely
want
did.
that and more, go over to patreon.com/save the game media. Choose a tier that's right for you, like our current supporters. So thank you to Fabulous Brianna, Rick Davis, Chad, Ellery Woods Parker III, Silkenit, Lee Navarro, the Xbox Expansion Pass, Dave Harp, David Hotright, Lillian, Marcus O'Neill, Brendan Myers, Nikolai at Night, Lindsay, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, and Dingle Bomp. Thank you for your support. We appreciate each and every one of you. Got that out of the way. So why don't we jump right into what have you been playing? And Sam, what have you been playing, buddy?
Yeah, so I have been playing Avowed and I have been playing South of Midnight, and I can't talk about either of them until next week. I believe the embargoes are, I'll just say the middle of the week because I don't know when exactly they go up. I know them, I have them on my notes, and I'm not going to break embargo or anything. But middle of next week, I'll be here sharing my thoughts. Next week's show going to be great. I'll be able to talk about a ton of stuff. This week's show, I'm dead quiet. So playing a whole lot of Redacted right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Avowed is next Thursday, but
Avowed is next Thursday
because I think it comes out in early access next Thursday.
That is correct. Yeah. So I know the embargo for Avowed is the 13th, and I want to say South of Midnight is the 11th. I think that sounds right because I have 3. I have another thing that I can't talk about that I've been playing that's also dropping embargo next week. So we have 3 things, 2 of which are approved to talk about, 1 of which I can't. But we got a big week coming up.
Oh, well, that's exciting. Well, I'm not playing anything currently under embargo, but I am playing a lot of games. So I mentioned last week how I was playing Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. I beat Black 2, was like, oh, I got the Ninja Gaiden itch. I beat Razor's Edge, and it's a big downgrade from Ninja Gaiden 2. Like, they make this game just cut like quick time event heavy. The story for I don't know who comes to Ninja Gaiden and is like, you know what I really want? A narrative. Like, why is Ryo Hayabusa like the way he is? Can we explore his backstory, his life in the ninja village? I'm like, I'm just trying to slice and dice some people, dog. Like, I really don't need all this. We had a walking section where like it was like a flashback, and I was like walking through the village, talking to kids, and I'm like, nah. This ain't what we come here for, all right? I don't know what's going on, but that wasn't my favorite of the Ninja Gaidens. I'll say that.
Yeah, I know that that's on my list to get to after I get through all these things. But I mean, the games are coming hot and heavy where we've got just hit after hit. So I might get a Ninja Gaiden sometime this summer. But good to know about Razor's Edge. I definitely want to check out 2 Black first and see if it clicks with me. But sorry, are you going to then, I'm assuming, dive into 4 when it drops later this year? Is that okay? So you're
that
all right.
that is the plan, because I had played 1 and I was like, all right, 2 I really like. I think that one was fantastic, especially the remaster. 3, I'm like, this is just an okay game. This is like a 6 or 7. It's not like, oh man, I wish I didn't play this, but it's like, it's okay.
Yeah, it's no Gotham Knights, is what you're telling me.
It's no Gotham Knights. That is. Imagine if we just compared every game to like, oh, it's no Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I've seen the word. I guess it's like a adjective now of that game pulled a Concord, or like it got concorded or whatever. And I'm like, oh man, we're making that a thing. Oh, it's sad.
There is there's a tire store near me called Concord Tires, and I just want to take a picture of it and make that like Spider-Man memes. Like everywhere I go, I see his face.
That'd be great.
Well, I did beat another game this week. This one took me about 2 hours. It's called Made of Scare. This is a first-person, I want to say, psychological horror game. It's not scary at all, though. So I got this free on Epic, and they actually have another game that it's like Ritual or something, which is like a 4-player co-op shooter or something.
Mm-hmm.
Made of Scare is the original game that's like a first-person horror game. Again, not scary. You basically just walk around this mansion, like 3 floors, and solve puzzles. And then at the end, you play some music and the game ends. It's not very good, but it was like 2 hours, and I kept waiting. I was like, all right, there's gonna be some interesting story plot twist coming up. There's gotta be like something going on, because it's like, oh, you get some weapons, and then the weapon you get is just a sound machine. And I was like, this. I don't know. It's fine. It was free. I was like, all right, whatever. Add it to the checked off list. Nothing to write home about.
Yeah, I remember when this game came out, I was interested in it. Really high reviews on Steam. So but I also know that I don't know if you would call it the niche horror genre, but like there's a very devoted group of people that are very into this kind of game, where it's like they aren't 10 out of 10 masterpieces, but like people really enjoy this kind of thing. So yeah, if I got it for free, maybe I would try it at some point. But you're not selling me on it too hard.
No, you don't need to worry about it. It's like, I think it's meant to be like a speed run game, because they give you stats at the end. It's like how fast you solved everything, how many times you died, and I was like,
yeah,
very interesting to do a speed run horror game. But
well, doesn't Resident Evil do that too?
Oh, I don't know. I never played a Resident Evil game.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil does that. I know at the end of at least 2 remake and 3 remake, they definitely have the speed run thing, and I think they did it for Village, or not Village, the one with the family. Jesus, what's it called?
I don't know.
Is it 6? I guess. Oh, I'm looking at my shelf right now. It's the one with the family. That's embarrassing. I should know.
Village was the one with the family.
No, Village is the one with the tall lady.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which I also have on my shelf, but I haven't played. Anyways, it's the one with the family, where I think that also has speedrun at the end.
I know 4 because I tried it on the GameCube back in the day. I thought it was too scary. And I know 5 because it was co-op in the daylight and had some controversy around it.
I'm an idiot. It's just Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 8 is Village. So I just got out of order. I forgot 6 was the one that was like that weird in-between thing. That was on me.
All right. I have also been playing Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. I am on World 4, so I'm almost halfway through the game. I never played this when it came out on the Wii. I am playing it with my fiance because the only games she will play are 2D platformers and horror games. Very
interesting.
Opposite end of the spectrum there. But I'm Donkey Kong. She's Diddy Kong. We're having a good time. There's certainly some challenging levels. I always forget that Donkey Kong is a much harder series than Mario. Nothing too bad. Like, may take us a few tries. I think the bosses are kind of lame so far. Hopefully those pick up. But it's a good game. It's Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Have you played Tropical Freeze?
I love Tropical Freeze. We played Tropical. It's so good.
Yeah,
Tropical Freeze is great. Yeah. This one's not nearly as polished. Like, there's a few weird, quirky. It almost feels like it wasn't designed to be co-op sometimes, because like you'll need to jump on an enemy's head to get across, but only one person can jump on them, then they die. And I was like, oh, what about the other person? They're just stranded over there now. So like, I gotta keep going. You'll warp to me, but it's just a little weird gameplay mechanics. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played too much Donkey Kong. I used to play like the older ones, like Donkey Kong Country on my Game Boy way back in the day, like super old
Hmm.
Donkey Kong. And then I watched an entire playthrough of Tropical Freeze when I was working overnights, so I have like a really deep connection to that. Like I just always think about that game with my like, oh god, it's 4 a.m. like that. Like that's my up all night game. So yeah, I love some Donkey Kong.
I'm with Rick Davis. I like Donkey Kong more than Mario, but I'm not a big Zelda or Metroid guy, to be honest with you. So
I need to get back and play Metro Prime.
yeah, with the Switch that you had, you got to charge it first. That's step
Yeah,
one.
the Switch is currently like an Indiana Jones relic where it's just sitting on the pedestal. Like I have a little holder in my living room for it, and it's just totally covered in dust. So I just have to like grab a bag of sand and just change it out at the right time to pick my Switch back up.
Switch 2. Yeah, you know when the Switch 2 comes around, that'll be it, right?
I don't
Yeah.
think they're getting me. They're not going to get me this time because I'm like, I'm an adult. I got little time. I got a PC that I need to finish building. I still haven't locked down to 5090 or 5080. And then like, I just have X. I'm fine. I think I'm just going to let them keep it. And then they'll make Super Mario Galaxy 3 and I'll throw them my money. So
I think I'm pretty set on, unless there's like a Super Smash Brothers launch title,
yeah.
that I'm like, I'll wait for like a sale probably.
Yeah,
Like
I just don't think that it's something I'm going to pick up. I mean, maybe, you know, if in the next, obviously these are like 10-year cycles at this point. If we have kids by this point, like I'll get a Switch to like do stuff at that with that, but like I'm not going to pick one up for us.
Oh, did I? I don't know if I mentioned this, but we went over to my future sister in laws, and I guess their kid Switch broke. So he's like, "Oh, I just bought a new Switch with Mario Kart." He's like talking. I'm like, "Oh, did you see the Switch 2 got announced?" He's like, "Yeah, they announced it the day after I picked this up." I'm like, "Oh, that's a shame."
I would have taken that back immediately because I would just hold, yeah, there's absolutely no way I'm going to keep that if I know there's a Switch 2 coming. I just splashed the cash on that.
Yeah, no, I agreed. And then the last game I'll talk about, Necromundo Hired Gun, or as I
Yeah.
like to call it, we have Doom at home.
That's good.
This game is very like, it's apparently in the Warhammer 40K universe,
It
which
is.
I didn't know until I like started googling it. I also thought it was third person initially, and then I googled it. I was like, oh, this is Doom. This literally
Yeah.
looks like Doom, except I should say, except I got a grappling hook. I'm running on walls. I'm like, there's some cool ideas here. I don't think it's nearly as polished or like feels as good to play as Doom. Like
Mhm.
when you're playing Doom, you get into the flow of like combat, right? Like the bullets are flying, you're jumping everywhere,
Yep.
blasting people. This one, I'm more like, where the hell am I getting shot from? Like, why am I getting hurt so much damage? I will say the cool mechanic they have in this game is that you can summon a dog, and the dog will attack enemies, and it'll also highlight all the enemies, which helps a lot. It's on a cooldown though, so you can't do it all the time. But I'm like, okay, this is a neat mechanic. But it is very much like, I just wanted a mindless shooter kinda, and I don't
Yeah.
care about the story at all. But I'm having a fun enough time with it.
Is this still in Game Pass? I remember it was on Game Pass back in the day.
I don't know. I'm playing it on PC because I
Let's
got it
see.
free on Epic.
Yeah, I know I have it on Epic as well. I feel like it was on Game Pass, but if it's not, then you know whatever, you can go buy your games. But I feel like I played a little bit of this, whether it was on Epic or something else, and I enjoyed the couple of minutes I spent with it. So it might be one that I add to the backlog. But I love how Warhammer is just like a ball of clay, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna make a Doom game, we're gonna make a tabletop game, which obviously it started as tabletop stuff or lore or whatever. But it's just cool that it can be anything you want it to be. I love that.
I was thinking about that while I played this, because I was like, yeah, I played Space Marine 2 last year. I played Space Marine before that. And like, those are very different games. Then they have Bolt Gun, which is a first person shooter, but it's like a boomer shooter,
I
right? It's
love Bolt Gun, dude.
completely different to this, like feeling wise, even though like
Yep.
Doom is the one of the original boomer shooters, but it's just the new style Doom. And I'm like, I think they have some like a turn-based strategy game too over there, like some trading
Yep.
game. I'm like, they're doing it all. I don't know how, but they're doing it all.
I'm just saying, man, I feel like that's, I don't know how it would be done or if it would be done in that capacity, but I think that's a great template for what they should do with Halo, you know, where it's like,
Oh, yeah.
get a ton of different studios and just be like, hey, you got a cool Halo idea. And somebody's like, yeah, we have a survival game where you crash land on a ring and you've got to like, keep your squad alive. And it's kind of like an extraction shooter. Oh, we have an idea for, a survival game as a peasant in on whatever planet you're like
Everyone
farming
has
on.
been saying a horror Halo game for ages, right?
Yeah,
With
like an aliens game,
yeah.
Yeah, like you could do so many different things with Halo. Just like give it to these different studios, like a boomer shooter Halo, like bolt gun style. I would buy immediately if it was like an 8-bit kind of retro look to it. Yes, I would love that.
I would also buy an Arbiter only game. Like if you
That
just
would
gave
also
it
be
the
cool.
Halo
I'm just saying
kill.
there's so many different things you could do, and there are so many studios that would kill to have it done. I mean, even within Microsoft, you've got basically everyone. Just give it, shop it around, see who wants to do something cool with Halo.
Halo Kart. I hear you.
Would I play a Halo JRPG? No, but I'd watch a Halo anime if that counts.
I would also watch that.
Yeah. Give me Cyberpunk Edge Runners, but with like Master Chief and Cortana. I would love that, and I think there's a cool idea there. Like, I was started as a joke, but like, yes, please.
There's a lot more they could do with Halo that they're not doing.
Yeah, but they did make 2 seasons of a really bad TV show.
Give the Spartan anime hair.
Oh yeah, I think it'd be great. I feel like there's a lot of potential there.
They remove their helmet. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh hair. It's weird colors.
Well, we all know at this point, if you're making any non-gaming media, the helmet's got to come off anyway. So it's got to have anime,
obviously, and you have to have some weird alien sex.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I've been playing. So I'm gonna wrap up probably both everything I'm playing for next week. So we'll see. I'm not doing Avowed early access. All right, they're not getting me with the money.
Me neither.
Yeah, you neither. Yeah. Get them. I'll show them, Sam.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't we jump into the news, everyone? Not many news stories this week, but we have a few things to tackle, and I totally forgot to do the tickers again. So, story number 1. We got more PS5 ports coming. Xbox has announced 2 more games being ported to PlayStation 5. First up, Age of Mythology Retold Edition, and then Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition are both coming. They are from first-party studio World's Edge and will be hitting the platform in March and spring 2025, respectively. Sam, Project Latitude, as they're calling it, right? I think that's the name behind the scenes. In full swing now. What's this? We're a few weeks in and we've already got 3 more games going.
Yep. I mean, and this is what I would consider to be like the obvious wins, of having a game that I know it sells very well with its niche audience that's really into this kind of thing, but like, I don't care about Age of Mythology. I don't really care about Age of Empire. Like, I just don't care. So the way that I see it, give that to as many people as want it and grow it as much as you can on every platform, which should be the mindset for everything. But like, bring it to like Age of Mythology, I feel like could be a really good Switch 2 title, especially with that mouse functionality that seems to be true. I mean, I would love to see both Age of Mythology and Age of Empires 2 DE be launch titles on the Switch too, because I think that would just be the perfect fit for the kind of experience that Nintendo wants to deliver. Not super overpowered games either. Like, I imagine they'd run really well. So I would love to see more of it, and just give these studios more money to keep on going with different projects. Because this isn't something that's near and dear to my heart, but I know a lot more people would love to play it.
Yeah, these aren't games that I've ever jumped into. I know that the people that are fans of these series, like, they love these series. I think Joe over at the Trophy Room really loves one of these games. I know he popped off pretty hard about it, but there is very much a sense of, okay, this isn't something that like hurts Xbox to lose. In my opinion, like, these probably could have been multi-plat from the start, and I don't think anyone really would have given anyone any crap about it, because this feels like PC games, right? These feel like PC games, and the fact that they're even on consoles at all, it's like, okay, why not let everyone have them? And I can almost guarantee these will be Switch 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like that's the natural next evolution of this kind of thing. And again, not to keep harping on like other platforms, but I think that rumored, seemingly confirmed mouse functionality of the Joy-Cons makes this stuff make so much sense, especially anything where you've got to like, drag and select reinforcements or groups of buildings or whatever. It just feels like it's going to work really well. So I'm excited to see what else they bring in this kind of vein going forward, and what they build for day and date releasing across all platforms in the future. Because I could imagine the next Age of Empires could see that kind of route. Depending on, I think the next year we're really going to see, are they doing timed exclusives, or was like Indiana Jones just caught in the crossfire, and then everything is going to be going same day across everything, and then they're
Mhm.
just kind of banking on Game Pass being the thing that continues to sell consoles, what consoles they can sell.
Yeah, I would like some clarity on, and maybe it'll just like naturally we'll be able to pick it up if everything starts being announced day and date. But like we have Avowed, we have South of Midnight, like we Fable isn't currently announced, but like that could change. There are currently games scheduled for just Xbox, and whether that is they were in development for just Xbox and we haven't had time to make the PS5 port yet, or what the situation is there. But I would like some clarity on like, are there timed exclusives? Is it up to the developers to like manage resources like Xbox PC first, then PS5, Switch after that, and it's like we're okay with staggered releases, or is the strategy going to be like if we can do day and date, do that?
Yeah, I think I mean, they've said it's the case by case basis for years at this point, and I really think that's the truth. And it's not always marketing being like, we need this to be exclusive. I think it is what you were saying around, hey, we need on Indiana Jones more time to build a PS5 Pro version, or whatever kind of hurdle they were going after. I don't necessarily think that was like a definitive like marketing push, but it
Mhm.
could have been. I don't really know, but I think that it's going to be really just unique to see how Microsoft kind of traverses this, because this is the test of them really going all in on third party, or still trying to give some kind of benefit to the Xbox ecosystem and giving people more of a reason to incentivize them to pick up a console, which I think we're so far past at this point. Um, I think that also looking at the PlayStation side, I mean, I was listening to Kind of Funny today when I was at the gym, and they were talking about Sifu, and how that was like a third party game that had that PlayStation deal
Mhm.
locked in. So it's one of those things where it's like everybody across the industry, first party and third party, are approaching it in very different ways. And I think that Microsoft's probably going to follow the industry trend and just keep doing random things with it. But yeah, I think Avowed and South of Midnight are really interesting examples of games that are continuing to stay day and date Xbox console exclusives. And again, I don't know if that's kind of in the Indiana Jones field of just getting caught in the crossfire of this transitional period, but it just seems odd that you've got Doom blowing up the world over here,
Mhm.
where it's going everywhere. You've got Call of Duty doing Call of Duty stuff. Like, you see the wins where they can be wins. Presumably Elder Scrolls is going to be going
Oh,
everywhere, of
100%.
course.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like, I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that with something like Indie, Avowed, South of Midnight, all these other things, especially coming off of Hi-Fi Rush, where basically like you were kind of forced to sell the studio. You probably could have made some more money had you put it out everywhere, with Hi-Fi Rush specifically. But yeah, man, it's weird times. I don't know exactly what their thoughts are, but I'm just going with the flow, playing my Game Pass games.
Yeah, I see some talk about this in specifically Avowed PS5 in the chat. We did have a question. Sam Heaney said, "With the he asked, did you guys see the Min Max Avowed interview? If so, did anything stand out? With the question of a PS5 release posed and dodged, do you think Xbox could be gun shy about announcing some of these things prior to release, based on the reaction to the Indiana Jones PS5 announcement?" So I didn't see the Min Max Avowed interview. I don't think I've ever seen Min Max, to be honest with you. But I did see Luke's interview with the director of
I
Avowed
saw it
over
pop up
there.
in the feed. I have not had the chance to watch it yet, but kudos to Luke for locking that down. That's incredible.
Yeah, it was a very good, fun, good interview. Everyone go over to the Xbox Expansion Pass later if you haven't, and check out that interview. In regards to the question of do we think that they're specifically being a little gun shy about saying it's coming to PlayStation 5, I feel like they don't care that at this point, though. Like, right? Because they had the PS5 logo in the developer direct. It would feel very weird to me if they knew this game was going to come to PS5 to not announce it.
I mean, I think it's just a strategy thing. If you're looking at, like, I think if you're looking at Microsoft right now and you're a couple of weeks out from the release of Avowed, and you see the antiquated way of thinking, and potentially the antiquated way of still being a part of the business of, hey, we want this to sell some consoles, we want this to move some Game Pass subscriptions. If you come out ahead of everything and the director of the game says, yeah, by the way, we're going to be on PS5 a year from now, then sales are going to be down, subscriptions are going to be down, because people are going to say, I have other things I can be playing. There's a Terminator event in Call of Duty right now. I'll see y'all next year. So I think it's probably one of those obligations of saying, hey, we need to focus on the Xbox release, let the PlayStation release come when it comes. So yeah, I think that's kind of where my mind's at with it.
Yeah, and he follows up. It's just odd because Outer Worlds, Pentiment, Grounded, all on PS5. Outer Worlds 2 has been announced for PS5. I don't think there's any question it's eventually going to come. I'm just whether they're like, oh, Avowed's going to be like a bigger deal than maybe some in the community thinks is going to be or not. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But it'll get announced when it gets announced, and I don't think not announcing it hurts it at all.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be fine. And if anything, I know we've talked before about how a second round of a release, I feel like often gives a game kind of a second breath, like a new sign of life. I don't know what you want to call it, but whenever a game comes from PlayStation to Xbox, Death Stranding, for example, blew up once again. Everybody's talking about Death Stranding again just because it shadow dropped on Xbox randomly one like Tuesday morning or whatever. And so I think there's value in having that as well, of just a surprise. Oh, hey, by the way, it's here now. Marvel versus Capcom Fighting Collection did that a little bit earlier this week, where all of a sudden here it is, the thing everybody complained about not having, and then I'm still not going to play, but like, hey, it's out there now on Xbox. We worked really hard to try to make it happen and make it work. It's here now. So I think there's value in having that kind of surprise. Oh, look, it's here now kind of thing.
Yeah, and I saw Death Stranding 2 has been rated in South Korea, so that's probably close to release. Everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Kojima's posting his edits. He's over there. He's over there in Premiere. He's doing his thing. If anybody follows Kojima on Instagram, you need to, or if you don't, you should, because he's just posting the best random stuff. I love it.
I love when he posts random stuff like, "Oh, I'm hanging out with this director or actor," and it's like, "Oh, what are they going to be in your game?"
Yeah, it's great because he'll be like one day Norman Reedus, the next day some Grammy award-winning musician, and then he'll be like 7-Eleven sandwich, and it's just a random item that he picked up to eat for lunch one day.
You know what I like is his social media like movie reviews. He's like, saw this show. He's like, saw The Boys, and he's like telling me about season 3 of The Boys. I'm like, all right, Kojima, let's go. I don't really like your games, but I like you as a person.
Yeah, he's very cool, and I'm looking forward to Death Stranding 2 when it eventually comes to PC. I'll definitely be playing it there for sure. But yeah, I don't know when that'll come out this year, but stuff's definitely moving around. So I'm curious what the time frame is between Death Stranding 2 on PlayStation and Death Stranding 2 elsewhere, like on Xbox, because clearly it's coming eventually. I just don't know what that timed exclusive window the PlayStation is obviously locked down is for.
I'd imagine it's not as long as the 5 years, 4 years that were five. It was 5 years we had to wait for the first one, like year 2, maybe shorter. I don't know.
I could see a year being the case. I'm just curious because the times have changed so drastically, and I feel like Kojima has more of a leg in the negotiations now because he's kind of proven himself as like Kojima Productions and not just Kojima that made Metal Gear. Like I think he's kind of got more pull.
Is Death Stranding 2 not launching on PC the same day as PS5?
I don't think so. Is it?
I'm not. I have no idea, to be honest. That'd be a very weird choice to me because I feel
no, it's a PlayStation exclusive at launch.
So weird. What's wrong?
Oh, they're throwing down the cash. Like there's no question about it. They are dropping bills on keeping that. Yeah.
PlayStation has this whole PC initiative going, right? Like, why do they care if a second party game?
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Somebody brought up in the chat who is publishing Death Stranding 2. That's a great question. I am not sure.
So
let's see. Let me ask one of our AI overlords who is publishing.
Well, I know that for the first one, PlayStation, I think, published it on PlayStation, but then 505 published it everywhere else.
Yeah, it says it was originally published by Sony for PlayStation 4. What are we? No, they're talking about the regular Death Stranding. Curse you, AI. What are you talking about?
I don't
know.
A long way to go before they can rule us.
It says On the Beach is being published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. So maybe it's a repeat of the same thing, and 505 is going to take over the PC version. I'm not sure.
Maybe it will be 5 years. Who knows? All right. Well, everyone enjoy Age of Mythology and Age of Empires on PlayStation if that is something you're looking forward to. But why don't we go into story number two? A little quick one here. Xbox has announced they are kicking off IGN Fan Fest with an ID at Xbox showcase on February 14th. The show promises trailers, gameplays, and reveals from indie studios such as Raw Fury, Team 17, Akupura, 11-bit, and more. The showcase will air Monday, February 24th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I always like a showcase. It's exciting. I don't know all of these indie teams. I know 11-bit. If I had to guess, I'm probably going to see the Alters here. I know that's one people are looking forward to. I'm pretty sure that's from them. So, any thoughts on this, Sam?
No, I like these little mini things. I like Raw Fury personally out of this list. Those are the people that make me the most excited. But these are the ones that I'm just kind of along for the ride for. You know, I don't go in with any kind of expectations. I'm not shooting for the stars, but I'm excited just to see what we end up getting. And I think that this is one that I throw up in the background. And I think back to like the early E3 days, and I say early E3 days, but this is like for me, probably 2014, 2015, where I was spending, 10 hours, 11 hours a day soaking in E3 content because I just love doing that kind of thing. And so this for me is like that, the filler shows in between of like the IGN lives where they have all these smaller developers come on stage and show their stuff off and kind of get into the nitty gritty of it. And I think that's kind of like the lifeblood of a lot of the industry is starting to become the smaller games, the non-hundreds of millions of dollar games. So I'm excited about this. I'll definitely be tuning in and seeing what's going on.
Yeah, I'm looking at Raw Fury because I wasn't familiar with them, but apparently I am because I've played a few of the games on their publishing list here. Call of the
Yeah.
Sea, Sable, cool cassette piece. I didn't know that was them as well. So yeah, that's listen. These shows are always they're not gonna Star Trucker. I heard good things about Star Trucker. What the hell is
Bad
Pizza
North, good one as well.
Pizza Possum? That's a Kevin game if I've ever seen it. All right, but yes, I'm excited. Always good to see indie developers getting some spotlight. I know our friends over at 6-1 Indie are putting on more showcases this year, and those are always really good. So anytime we can highlight these smaller developers, especially on a stage such as IGN, where there's going to get more eyes on this sort of thing, it's only beneficial.
Yeah, I would agree. And I see the jump ship call out in the chat. I've also been excited about that. I made a video on that a couple of times, but I'm very interested to seeing how jump ship kind of pans out. It's a co-op FPS that's kind of you got a lot of missions and stuff, a lot of cool flight going on in that game as well. So I want to check out if you're into I don't even know what to describe it to. It's like what was that game I was playing where you like chop up spaceships and stuff? The
Hardship.
yeah, Hard Space Shipbreaker. So it's got like a little bit of DNA of that with like some No Man's Sky and then like some co-op shooting. It's like a little bit of everything. I'm very interested to see where it pans out.
Yeah, that's very cool. Captain Logan says no comment.
Ooh.
What does it mean?
That's not my other redacted.
I didn't even know that game was coming out soon. That's coming out.
I've been talking about it for a long time. I haven't kept up with like the release date, but I see it pop up every now and then. And then I just I'm like, hey, I should probably talk about that again. Let people know what's going on.
So Rick Davis in the chat brings up, do you guys have Metal Gear Solid Delta release date as a news story? That's technically Xbox news. Metal Gear Solid 3 is one of the greatest games ever made. So I didn't have it in the write-up, but for anyone that missed it, PlayStation Network leaked the Metal Gear Solid release date earlier and a trailer for it. It has since been taken down. Obviously, people captured it. If it's on the internet, it lives forever. But August 28th, it looks like Metal Gear Solid Delta will be coming out.
Yeah, this is one that I'm kind of like, I will play it. I will check it out. I've never been a huge Metal Gear Solid guy. I played like a little bit of a couple different games. I played a little bit of 4, a little bit of 5. But that was kind of before my taste expanded and I got more into more of the artsy games. So it's one that I want to go back and try. I'm curious to see how authentic they stick to the original source material. Presumably they'll be sticking to it pretty hard. But yeah, I think it's cool to see it coming everywhere. I'll be curious to see if that one's a Switch 2 game as well. Probably not a launch, but I could see that being the case as one that makes it over there. But yeah, cool. I think August is going to be fine. I think that's before your Grand Theft Autos and after anything else big coming after the summer. So like it fits a nice little window there. So I think they're getting in right before the door closes.
Yeah, I saw GTA 6. Well, Rockstar and Take Two confirmed that GTA 6 is still scheduled for this fall. Which the
Yeah,
only other fall game I can think of off the top of my head is like Ninja Gaiden 4. So hopefully that comes out before.
yeah,
Obviously, I don't know how much crossover there is, but like GTA is going to consume the gaming industry when it comes out.
yeah,
So I think August is fine because that doesn't follow, but like that's still technically summer, so you'll miss that. I know. I see the chat talking about the ape escape mode where Snake fights monkeys or something. I
yeah.
don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, I have no idea. Side tangent of that. Whenever my fiance and I go to Siege this summer, we're planning on dressing up as I'm going to be the guy that captures the monkeys, and she's going to
Mm-hmm.
be one of the ape escape monkeys. And so we're going to do a little thing with that. Very excited about that. But yeah, I'm excited about this. I do want to say though, with the call out of the Grand Theft Auto 6 and everybody trying to get out of the way, uh, can somebody please stay in the way? Because like I don't really care that much about Grand Theft Auto 6. Like
Yes.
I'll probably buy it and I'll probably play it and I'm sure it's gonna be great and everything, but like I'm not gonna spend 15 years in this thing, you know, like I need other things that I want to play. So like can we please get somebody to like take the hit and say, hey, after you're done, you can play Ninja Gaiden 4 or like whatever the thing is. I need something else
Fable.
beyond Grand Theft Auto.
Fable.
And sure, I mean, I just need some meat on the bone. Like, I just don't want to be riding around like, because like I feel like I'll be very interested to see the reaction to Grand Theft Auto 6 because when the original GTA came out, I say original GTA, whenever GTA 5 came out on the 360, which is wild to say, and I was I think I was a junior in high school. I could spend hours going around mugging people, ripping them out of their cars, and just riding around Los Santos. I'm now going on 30. So, like, I don't want to do that. I have other things to do. So, I need actual games to play. So, you know, just hot take. That's what I would like to see. Somebody stay in the way.
It's not a hot take for this network, Sam. I don't think you were there, but when we draft, like we got GTA 6 in the fantasy draft because I was like, all right,
Yeah.
everyone else is scared, think it's going to get delayed. We basically got the win confirmed now because they're like, it's still coming. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But Taylor TPR was like, am I the only one on this podcast network that's excited for this game? I was like, yeah, you are. Yeah. So he kept throwing you, and he's like, I think me and JamPackSam are the only people excited for this. And I was like, I don't know if Sam's excited.
I mean, like, I'll play it, but it's not like I'm like counting down the days or anything like that, you know. And I was the same way about Red Dead 2, where I think Red Dead 2 is one of the best games ever made. Like the way the world, like it's such a beautiful world, and the narrative's great. One of the best pieces of writing and gaming. But like, you know, I picked up Red Dead 2 when it came out, and I was like, oh, that's good. And then I just like kept on going with my life. Like I'm not worshiping it and replaying it every year. And that's how I feel like I'm going to be with Grand Theft Auto 6, but time will tell.
Yeah.
Ooh, spam with the bag takes. RDR2 bad game shrug emoji. Ooh.
I don't like any Rockstar games though.
I mean, you know, everybody makes mistakes. It's okay, Kevin.
Yeah, what I like plenty of games that got 5s and 6s. So
you know what's underrated? Chinatown Wars. Chinatown Wars is a really underrated Grand Theft Auto game.
The handheld one, yeah.
That is the top down that was also on the Vita, or not the Vita. I think it might have been on the Vita, but it was also on the PSP and the DS. Chinatown Wars, really good game.
The DS got a Grand Theft. I did not know that.
The DS got a Grand. The DS had Call of Duty games.
I didn't know that either. I was really at the Nintendo ecosystem after the Wii.
Oh, well, see, I didn't have a modern console. This was like pre PS3 for me. So I was stuck on the PS2. So I'm over here playing COD 4 on the DS like a pleb. It was horrible, man. We were riding the struggle bus on that one.
Did that have cross platform play?
It did not. No. Back in the day, it did not.
You're sitting there with your stylus getting owned.
Oh God, it was, yeah, we don't talk about those times. I was the only person at the sleepover that was playing COD 4 on the DS. That was miserable.
Yeah, that's so funny. It reminds me there's a kid that in middle school when he had a PSP, but he would never play games on it. He would just watch Doom, like the Rock movie, over and over every day on the bus. He'd sit there, pull out those whatever those little discs were called. They just
Yeah,
watch Doom.
UMDs.
Yeah, UMDs. They just watch Doom over and over again.
I gotta say though, whenever I go to a convention and I'm like going through something, it's almost like finding like a Betamax tape or something where I'm like, oh, it's a UMD copy of Men in Black 2. I kind of want this for some reason. I don't need to see Men in Black 2 at 640 by 480 or whatever that resolution was on that screen, but like it's still cool to have. I don't know. Just weird.
Yes, it is very weird, especially because like, do PSPs even? They're probably gonna explode soon. Yeah, like
I did have to replace the battery in mine
there you
because
go.
I pulled my PSP out like a year and a half ago, and I was like, oh, this is a little off kilter on the left hand side, and the battery was just like literally expanding in real time. About it was like a pipe bomb in there. It's crazy, but you can get batteries for like $4, so that was a win.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, I got my PSP back here. I think it's still charged up.
His PSP's charged. The Switch
Yeah,
is not.
I got it ready, man. Let's go locked and loaded. Yeah, PSP's charged. Switch dead, completely dead.
All right. Well, let's get into the last news story here. Just your Game Pass update for the first half of February. Available right now, you can play Another Crab's Treasure, Aiden Chronicle, 100 Heroes, and Starfield on the standard tier. You can also play Madden NFL 25 just in time for the Super Bowl this weekend on cloud, console, and PC if you're at the Ultimate and PC tier. February 13th, you get Kingdom 2 Crowns for cloud and console at the Ultimate and standard tier. And February 18th, you get Avowed for cloud, PC, and the series consoles at the Ultimate or PC tier. I really only care about Avowed. That's my only comment here.
Yeah, I'm going through. There's nothing else that's really calling me. I used to be into like trying on Madden, especially during Super Bowl weekend, but I'm going to be out of town this weekend, so I'm not even going to have time to like boot it up at all. Cool that it's on cloud, though. I will say maybe I will boot it up on cloud just to like during the Super Bowl get a couple of throws in. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
simulate the game.
I can simulate the game. I used to do that. I used to make videos on that of like who Madden thinks is going to win the Super Bowl. But yeah, I don't know. I know that these are still very confusing for me. And that's the only thing I'll say of like looking at the graphic. Like, I was getting ready to say I'm excited to play Ayuden Chronicle, and I was like, wait, that's been out for a minute. And then like they're both at the standard tier now. I'm like, okay, Another Crab's Treasure. Oh boy, look at that. Still, it's just they've got to get better at organizing. And I think that the new system has really diluted the excitement because going through, you're like, it's like coming back to Netflix. It's whatever you've watched for the 100th time. I just don't. I don't feel like this has the same excitement of the old days of Game Pass.
They are tricking people though, because I see people get like excited. I'm like, that's been on there for months. They're like, oh, I didn't know, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's a nice reminder, but it is very much like in terms of new games, it's Madden and Avowed, because even Kingdom 2 Crowns has been on Game Pass before. It's coming back to the service. Everything else is just standard tier, which I've been calling out for a while now that they're just pumping these graphics to make them look fuller. And you want to know something funny is when I was looking for news articles for the show, I see there is a website that is making articles acting as if the standard tier games are brand new additions, because they'll title it things like Game Pass just secretly added one of the most colorful Souls likes to Game Pass. Or like, I'm like, it's been on there since launch.
Yeah. I think that and of course we've gone into the media literacy conversation many a time, but you can definitely tell who's getting the clicks and who's actually given they're all in trying to cover some stuff. But needless to say, I'll be playing Avowed. I plan on playing Avowed for after the release as well, but I'll have my thoughts on that next week. But that's obviously the headliner here.
Yes, absolutely. And listen, Rick Davis helping us out with the show today. I'll send you a little something in the mail there, Rick. But
a little producer.
Yeah, a little producer credit. He said, did we see that MLB The Show 25 was confirmed not to be coming? Oh no, he didn't say that, but it's not coming to Game Pass this time. I don't know if you saw that. It's
really?
Yes, it's the first time since I think it's been on Xbox. It's not coming to Game Pass.
That's interesting.
He mentioned confirmed to have college baseball, including metal bats. I don't. That's not where I thought you were going with that, Rick. But yes, no, not on Game Pass. They confirmed. I think it's coming out end of next month. But I thought that was a weird comment because they were very clear about that. It's not coming to any subscription service.
Yeah, well, to address Rick's thing, I think it's cool that I saw high school and college baseball is going to be included in the quick Google I did. I think it's interesting as well because collegiate athletes, especially in the NCAA side, with the football stuff, are now being compensated for their inclusion in the games. So I'm curious if that carries over to college baseball with MLB The Show and how that works in like a different sport with a different org. But that thing aside, I think it's cool they continue to flesh it out, and it's obviously the best and really kind of only baseball sim out there, except for Backyard Sports. Shout out Backyard Sports.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. I
Pablo,
agree.
I think is the
Yeah,
kid's name that
Pablo
everybody. Yeah,
Sanchez.
Pablo Sanchez. That's the real MLB The Show. But I think it's. I mean, how do you feel about MLB The Show not being on Game Pass? Do you think that is a reflection of Xbox not seeing a return on the investment of throwing the cash out to get people to play it, or do you think that's just like? Obviously, it's not Sony, but do you think that's like whoever is behind the scenes pulling the strings of the MLB being like, hey, we're not getting the revenue we want from that side of the industry. Let's take that subscription away.
It's either Xbox feels the price is too high for the return that they've been seeing, but it does feel weird to me that they're like, okay, we'll give it 3-4 years on the service and then stop. So like either they don't think it's worth it because the price went up, or PlayStation or MLB, whoever is negotiating that, thinks that they'll sell more copies than the money Microsoft is offering.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering too if it comes like, do they pull a Madden like we just talked about, and whenever they get to the World Series, all of a sudden now MLB is on Game Pass, and quite frankly, I think that makes more sense than having it there on day one, even though it's a big day one get. That I think the more that I talk through this, I think this is really a reflection of Xbox and their strategy changing, because I think that having MLB The Show on Xbox was probably an incentivization to get people to switch so that you could say like, oh, I can just get that with the subscription. I just play MLB anyway. If they didn't see that, now they can just hold that out, pay a lower bag or a smaller bag to get it on later whenever you have that resurge of interest in the World Series, and then you can just get people back on it. So maybe that's what they're doing. I definitely think it's probably an Xbox call, because like I jumped in, I played a couple of games. I don't, I didn't
Same.
play a long term. Yeah, I don't care at all. So we'll see what happens, but definitely an interesting shift.
Yeah, it was one of those. I was like, oh, I just got to see this. Like seeing the PlayStation logo, and it was like, oh, this is neat. And then I realized, oh, I don't like baseball, even the sports
Yeah.
version of it. So
That's where I'm at. I also calling out Rick Davis's chat as well. It's pretty major difference. Metal bats hit significantly harder. So what I'm hearing is this year's going to have a whole lot more dingers, and I need that on the back of the box in bold Comic Sans. More dingers, 2025.
More dingers.
More dingers. More dingers.
That's what I'm always saying about baseball. All right, why y'all getting so mad about the steroids? All right, home runs are the best part of the sport. Shouldn't we want that?
I threw it around. I threw this idea around with some coworkers at the last job that I had. I feel like there should be a separate branch of the Olympics that is just no holds barred. You do whatever you need to do to be the best you can be. You want to do steroids, you want to do illicit drugs, you do whatever you need to do. If you need to pound Red Bull for a week straight and then go lift a 2,000 pound, dumbbell with one arm, you do it, man. Are you going to die afterwards? Maybe, but like,
or
do we record it? Let's record it. Like, give me the hardcore Olympics and then give me the real natural Olympics. That's just my 2 cents.
I'd watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds great to me.
Yeah. So like, super hardcore, like imagine you're watching Madden, but the people that are or you're watching football, but the people running down the sideline are like Usain Bolt, where they're just like the fastest man alive, just sprinting with this ball. It'd be great.
It's kind of like the are you familiar with the XFL?
Yeah. Is that the one The Rock totally drove into the ground? Yeah.
Vince McMahon, The Rock, like they started a football league, but you could like do wrestling moves on the opposition essentially.
See, that's great to me. I feel like that's great, even though that was like super controversial. Are they even coming back? Is that still a thing?
I don't think so. I also think the first iteration was scripted like WWE, if I remember, but like I don't know if I know they brought it back a few years ago, and I don't know if that one was a legit league, but I think at that point like the name is kind of tainted.
Well, I mean, if you're an NFL fan and you're talking about scripted stuff, I mean, let's not throw stones in glass houses, dude. I mean, we got the Chiefs going back, and Taylor was at the Grammys. Let's be real here. The XFL probably realer than the NFL at this point.
I don't care about the NFL anymore. All right, I stopped watching. I don't know, 12 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
But growing up, I was a Patriots fan. I actually have a Patriots cup right here.
Oh wow.
Um, yes. I just need the Chiefs to lose because people are talking about the Chiefs like they're all right better than the Patriots in the 2000s and Tom Brady. I'm like, I need y'all just to get a little humbling, all right?
Yeah, I don't care who wins. My football experience is that it is background noise for chilly day at my parents' house. That is what football is for me from the months of November to February.
Mm-hmm.
And then this Sunday, it's going to be background for wing day. So, Super Bowl
Nice.
wing day is how we do that. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. We're supposed to get 10 inches of snow that day.
Mm.
So hopefully the roads will be clear before I have to go.
Yeah, that does not sound good. I'm sorry for that. It's I'm going to be in Florida where it's going to be 80, so I'll be thinking about you.
Okay. All right. I see
Yeah,
how it is.
I'll be running on the Gulf and in the 80-degree weather. So
It's a little too warm, you know.
yeah. Real men would be
Hurricanes
in 10
down
inches
there.
of snow. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got hurricanes down there.
All right. We have one question to round out the show. And Sam, you could feel free to abstain from this question.
Okay.
What kind of character in class are you going to play in Avowed?
I'll let
I
you answer this.
Okay. I was like, I don't want him to get in trouble.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play whatever the melee focus character is. So sword, gun, whatever, strength and health, tanky. That's where I'm going to lean. All right. So
I wish you the best of luck.
thank you. And that is the final question. Yeah, no comment, says Captain Logan.
Yeah, no comments. No comments. I plead the fifth.
All right. Well, that will do it for us today, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. A lot of laughs this show. It was a fun
Good
time
times.
for a light news week for sure. But Sam, can you let everyone know where they can find you, my friend?
Yeah, you can find me at JamPackSam everywhere you find content: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Threads. Doing a lot of threading, Blue Sky a little bit, still dabbling. Throw a little Blue Sky in there. But next week's going to be a big week for me. Like I said, I've got 3 embargoes going up on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I've got a lot of work to do tonight, tomorrow morning, and then on Monday to get ready for that. But all really exciting stuff. As always, super grateful for the opportunities, and then we get to kind of talk about some awesome stuff next week as well. So we'll have a big show there. But yeah, man. And then you can always find me here because it's always a good time.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be chatting about Avowed for sure next week. That'll probably be the
Yeah.
main. Xbox decides to release a bunch of news during a big game release. That'd be weird, but you could find me at the Muffin Mon on Blue Sky mainly these days. It's a 1-7. I own 7A. Follow us at Save the Game Media over on Blue Sky. And for everyone listening, I finally updated the links in the description, so now it goes to Blue Sky instead of that other awful app. All right, so like I was looking at that, I was like, we need to change that.
Oh
So,
yeah, for sure.
until next week, though. Goodbye, everyone.